Hari Om. Good evening. A very warm welcome to all of you. Please come. Let's pray together and then seek blessings and we'll listen to what Lord Krishna has to say. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. Sahana vavatu sahano bhunaktu sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. O Lord the Almighty, who also has the divine names as Pushtaha, Subekshanaha, to such a all-pervading, all-powerful God, together with Shraddha, Bhakti and Prapatti, we offer our humble salutations. To seek His grace, His mercy, His love, His affection, His compassion, His kindness, His forgiveness, His strength, and His resilience. O Lord, bless us with the divine qualities of Shraddha, Bhakti, Jnana, Vairagya, Prapatti, Mumukshutva, only and only to realize Thy true self in our hearts, in this very life. May we all be blessed with the Aparoksha Anubhuti. We beseech in You that at the end of our lives, we reach Thy holy feet. Om Tat Sat. By the grace of Almighty and the blessings of the Guru Parampara, today we are on our Divine Discourse number 364. On the 16th of January 2024, Shobhanakrit Nama Samvatsara, Uttarayana, Hemanta Rutu, Pushyamasa, Shukla Paksha, Bhaumavasare, Shashthyatitau, Uttara Bhadra Nakshatra, Parigayoge, Taitula Karane. On this auspicious day of Tuesday and the auspicious time of the evening, we all take a pledge that, O Lord, I have completely surrendered to you. I know that you are going to release me from the ocean of these births and deaths. I know that whatever you sent to me in my life, by situations, by circumstances, by occasions, by incidents, be it through a person, place, or an object, they all are coming to mend me, my mind and my heart, only and only to reach thyself. I will accept everything with the prasada buddhi, keeping my mind calm and serene, without doubting anything that comes to me in my life. Please bless me. I remain with this thought all along, and my faith in you enhances day by day. Our humble salutations to the Guru Parampara. Om. That's it. Good evening, everybody. A warm welcome to all of you once again. So now today, we'll learn what Lord Krishna is trying to tell us. Basically, he's trying to take us further on the teachings which he has given us earlier. Samadarshinaha, Samadrishti. These are some great techniques which, when not properly understood, we really don't get the flavor of it. So, in the 18th verse, he spoke about Samadarshinaha. And then he also spoke about Sthitham manaha, where he said one needs to have the concept of Lord in one's heart all the time. See, whomever we love in our life, it could be your child, your spouse, your siblings, your parents, your friends, whomever you have, does that thought not come to you again and again of that person? It could be even an object also. It could be a place. Now, we are used to these kind of situations in our life. So here we have to just mend our ways. Like there are three kinds of realities. We are now trying to reach to the highest reality. When compared to a dream state, isn't waking state a greater reality? This, as per our common experience, we all understand this. So, Pratibhasika Satya. Pratibhasika is where it is an illusionary state. And you go to the next state, which is the Vyavaharika Satya. Vyavaharika is transactional. Like we consider a waking state as a transactional Satya, Vyavaharika Satya, compared to the dream state of Pratibhasika. Now the higher state, the third state is Paramarthika Satya, the state of the supreme truth. Now once a person realizes that truth within, he understands that there is something beyond the waking state also, and he gets established in that supreme truth, then just as a person who rejected the dream to a waking state, such a person who has realized to the next state rejects a waking state also to the supreme state. I'll give an example. Now say you have a currency. Now you go to the bank and you want to withdraw some money. So you write a check, say for ₹1,00,000, and now the cashier, he normally gives you money, isn't it? Now here, the cashier asks you, now I've got 3 types of currency. One is expiring within 1 year from the time of issue. You say, no, what do I do with this? Maybe I may not spend it within 1 year. I don't want that. Which is the next currency you have? I can give you a currency which has an expiry after 10 years. Then you say, what is the third option you are giving me? He says, this is a currency which has got no expiry. Then you will say, give me that. You may spend the entire money in the next 1 week also. But you will say, I want the currency which has got no expiry. Same is the state of this Paramarthika Satya over here. This is eternal, infinite. In terms of what? In terms of that bliss and happiness. Now compare that currency to happiness in your life. If somebody is giving you eternal happiness, you will say, I want that. You will not bargain or negotiate for the lower period of currency, of happiness. In the same way, here, a sadhak is now slowly moving to the higher levels. After having learnt the samabuddhi, samadrishti, now he wants to move to the next level. Now, we will try to understand a little more of this samadrishti, what we are talking about, which was spoken earlier, because now this is a short connection with what the Lord is going to give us as the next trait over here. So we'll understand this. Now, in short, what is that quality of an enlightened person? He has the ability to see all beings with an equal vision. I gave you the example of that banana leaf and how food is served. Externally, the person says, no, keep it in this place, keep it in this place. And if at all it tries to mix up, he separates them. And properly he sees that everything in his plate is placed, in his banana leaf is arranged in the rightest manner. But after saying the mantra, when he starts eating and the food goes inside, it all becomes one. So, a person of samadrishti, maybe he may externally, while dealing in the world, make those classifications, but the internal thought, as the food goes one and he considers it all as all one, there he does not go for separation. In the same way, a sadhaka, true Gnani, he will know that this is all one and one alone. It is from that supreme reality. That one supreme reality has taken all these forms. So he will, with everyone, he will have the same compassion and understanding, regardless of their social status, background, external factors. So this concept of samadrishti is extremely essential for our spiritual development. So where he treats all human beings with love, respect, compassion. I'll tell you a small story to get a better flavor of this. Once upon a time, in a peaceful village, there lived a very wise, elderly, compassionate person known as Rishi. Now, Rishi was known throughout the village for his wisdom and equanimity. He had a very unique way of looking at the world, which often people called him as he's a person of samadrishti, the way he treated everybody. So one day, a conflict arose in the village. There were two families, were supposed to be two rich families in the village. So one was a Sharma and the other was a Varma. Now what was the dispute about? About a piece of land. So where they had a dispute of some encroachment, and it was a Of course, a dispute where there was some encroachment and both of them are saying, no, I am right, I am right. Now, since both of them were potentially well placed in life, so they had their own set of friends, followers, contacts. So the entire village gradually was divided into two. Some half of them supporting the Sharmas and half of them supporting the Varmas. Now, the dispute became so intense and there was a possibility that it could escalate into violence. Now, Rishi got to know about this. He heard what the conflict was and he said, no, I must intervene now. Let me do whatever I can. And he invited both the leaders to come to his family, the Varma and the Sharma. Please come to my humble abode. And since he had that repute and respect from the village, they both of them went to his house. So he very warmly welcomed them. He offered them a seat, a drink. Now he listened patiently as both of them presented the case, their grievance and what they were not happy about. Now, Rishi did not get into much more details. It was about, yes, there is an encroachment of land. Now, who has encroached and all that can be found out only by measuring and things like that. He says that is, you have got vast pieces of land. For a small piece of land, why this dispute? Now, he tells them, see, I understand your concerns, both of you, my dear friends. Both of you have got valid points. But let me share a story with you. Rishi tells Sharma and Varma. He said, once there were in a village two farmers. And both of them were struggling to make a living. They had a small piece of land. One year it so happened that there was a serious drought, which struck the entire region. And as a result, both these farmers, they suffered significant losses. What they were to get as a yield or a crop on a yearly basis, they did not get that. Now, one of them, he decided to help the other farmer by sharing whatever meager harvest he had got. Not that he was affluent. He himself was in difficulty, but he said, no, I must help my neighbor. And now this act of kindness and empathy, it created a bond of brotherhood between them, between both those farmers. And now they decided to work together to overcome their difficulties. It's but natural, isn't it? When somebody helps you in times of distress, how attached you get to them. So Rishi continued, just like these two farmers found a way to unite in the face of adversity. Now each farmer had that courage that I have my brother, I have my friend along with me. That is enough, just that feeling. If there is an adversity, I don't know tomorrow what is the situation, but I have somebody to stand by me. So there he says, I encourage you, Mr. Sharma and Mr. Varma, to please find a way to resolve our differences and we all work together for the betterment of the entire village. Otherwise, imagine, now the whole village will get into a rift and everybody's energy, mind, everything will be nothing but destruction. So, it is not about who is right or wrong, but about finding a solution which can benefit everyone. So in this way, the leaders of the two families, they were really touched by Rishi's words. They said, yes, imagine all these poor farmers, these friends, these well-wishers, how much of turmoil they'll be experiencing. So they realized this fact and their dispute was causing a division and harm to the village and they decided to settle their differences amicably. And later on, let's see whatever is the issue, we'll share whatever difference is there, maybe we'll share that. But now we're not going to take this fight forward. So this way, Rishi's approach to the conflict, His ability to see a bigger picture and promote unity, it reflected the concept of Samadarshti. He viewed the village with equal vision, understanding that their well-being and harmony was of paramount importance. So this story, it also, when you have this bhav of Samadrashti, it can lead to resolution of conflicts and promotion of peace and unity in the society. So now we are talking of this Samadrashti equilibrium. Now once you have this understanding of this particular trait or this character, we can call this as every situation in life is like throwing a practical lesson to us. Now in human psychology, let us keep aside the spiritual knowledge what we are trying to gain, but human psychology also talks about this so much. So today I will be telling you about 7 theories which are exactly on the principle of what Lord Krishna is telling us over here. So he says, whatever happens to you in your life, naturally, casually, see, so many things, they just come casually, isn't it? We have never expected them to happen in our life. He says, if we do not accept these situations, whatever comes to us naturally, casually in our life, that results into a great mental disturbance. You don't have a choice. If there is a choice to correct, yes, you do it. But he talks of a situation where there is no choice. You did all your correction, but eventually you realize that you are not able to do any correction. Now there, if you do not accept, his only theory here is accept what you cannot change. Now here, very interesting, the 7 theories for mental well-being, which is essential for mental well-being, from various psychological principles and doctrines. Now they are spoken about over here. I'll talk about the first principle, which is known as Kubler-Ross model. Now understand what Lord Krishna is saying here. Whatever comes to you in your life, you accept it. Good, bad, ugly, pretty, anything, you just accept it and move forward. Now that is what now all these 7 theories are going to talk about. First one, Kubler-Ross model. This model, it clearly talks whenever a person confronts a calamity, there are 5 stages. Now you can make out, now this is a psychology lesson actually, you can make out if you confront a person who is undergoing adversity in life, in what stage he is in terms of that adversity, you can make out. Okay, now he says the first stage is denial. Second stage is anger. Third stage is bargaining. Fourth stage is depression. And the last stage is acceptance. Now you can, once you know this, I'll relate it to a small story so that you will get these stages, how each and every stage is related over here. You will precisely tell now this person is in the third stage of, as per the Kubler-Ross model, 5 stages of grief we are talking about. He is in the third stage, meaning he is in the stage of bargaining. First is denial, second is anger, third is bargaining, fourth is depression, and fifth is acceptance. Now, all these 5 stages, let's take a story and understand this. So, once upon a time in a very peaceful village, there lived a woman named Emily. Okay, she had a very loving family, her husband by name John, and her two children, Emma and Ethan. Now, their life was filled with joy and happiness until one unfortunate day when a tragic accident occurred and it took away John's life, meaning her husband was dead. Now, stage one. A young couple with two young children. John, who is the husband, he passes away by an accident which is nowhere thought about. What does the wife undergo now? Denial. In the initial days following this John's passing, Emily found herself in a complete state of denial. She couldn't believe he has gone. She would often speak to him as though he was still there with him. Unable to accept the harsh reality, she would sometimes set a place for him at the dinner table, hoping that he would walk through the door any moment. This way. And now you can recollect, we have also seen such stages. Second stage. As the weeks pass by, Emily's denial, it gives way to a deep sense of anger. She starts getting angry at the circumstances, at herself, and even at John. Why the hell did you have to go there? I told you not to go. In this way, she felt that burning, overwhelming rage that made it difficult for her to find peace. We all go through this. We start blaming God also. Hey, what God? Is there any God? God, is he going to be so cruel? If that is the kind of God, then he is no God at all. Have you not heard this? So this is the second stage. They are in anger. They just keep getting angry on every situation. Third situation comes, bargaining. Now, what is this? One day, while she was visiting John's grave, Emily, she began to bargain, knowing that there is a higher power. Some supernatural power is there. God is there. Okay, she pleaded. Okay, oh God, bring him back. And I promise you that I'll be a better person. I'll do this, I'll do that. This vrat, git and all, whatever it is. So she starts bargaining. I'll not fight with him. I'll do a lot of social work. So she believed that if she made enough promises, John might return. This also we have seen. There they start praying intensively. Who have cursed the Lord out of anger. Now in the bargaining state, they start keeping vrats, and they get into that state where they're trying to align with the Supreme Consciousness or Almighty, you can say. Now, if this doesn't work, because it's eventually going to not work only, where will Lord say, okay, I know you're going to be a good person, I will send John back. That's not going to happen. They get into a state of depression. Despite Emily's bargaining, eventually she realized that John would not return. And this realization, she knows for sure that he's not going to return it. It plunged her into a deep depression. She started withdrawing from her friends, family, all the time crying. And that overwhelming sadness, which looked like there is no end to it. She started missing John terribly and could not imagine life without him. This is the state of depression. Then finally comes the stage of acceptance. As time passed, as months passed, years passed, Emily gradually started to come to terms with John's death. She understood that no amount of denial, anger, bargaining would change what had happened. It was during a quiet moment by herself, looking at these old photographs of her family, she had reached a stage of complete acceptance, where she says, now I have to come to terms with life. I cannot go on like this. And understanding in this way, she accepts each and everything which has happened in her life and thereafter she completely gets out of that depression. So now, if you carefully see here, what happened? She passed all those phases, and where did it conclude? Acceptance. Now that is what Lord Krishna exactly said. You accept. Why have to go through all these stages? Why have to suffer all these weeks, months, years? Just have that mode of acceptance and that positive attitude. You will not have to suffer at any point of time in life. When we say, adhyatmika dukkha nivrutti paramananda prapti, that is what spirituality gives you. Adhyatmika dukkha nivrutti means the greatest of sorrows, nivrutti, you will be free from. Paramananda, bliss, prapti, you will get that. So now, by common sense, if you relate this, if you know that I have to surrender and accept, if you make this as your practice in life, tell me, when will you suffer? Simple, isn't it? You will have no chance to suffer. So this is one very important aspect on this part where we are talking about acceptance. Now, another theory, positive psychology. See this, massive. Now, positive psychology emphasizes the importance of acceptance as a component of resilience and well-being. It says, accepting the aspects of life that cannot be changed allows individuals to focus their energy and efforts on what can be improved or controlled. See, this is positive. Now, this approach makes a more positive outlook and reduces the stress and frustration which is associated, and also it keeps irritating that person. Now, this person completely gets out of these shackles. He has that positive approach, immediately he accepts, and without wasting a single thought of negativity or stress or anger, depression, bargaining, no, he straight gets into action. This is the second theory. Stoicism. This came in somewhere about 300 BC, they say. So which means it's now about 2,400 years old philosophy. Stoicism is a philosophical school of thought that teaches individuals to distinguish between what is within their control and what is beyond their control. So within their control meaning what? Within their mind and choices they have. And what is beyond their control means the external events. So many external events, they are not. Now I can't stop the rain. I can't stop the wind. I can't stop the heat. I can't stop somebody who is misbehaving with me. So this way, certain things are there in life which one cannot have it under his control. So this is the Stoicism. It clearly, they talk of the Stoic principle is also known as amor fati, means love of fate. And it encourages individuals to accept the events that they cannot change and find contentment in embracing their fate. So here when you say fate, just embrace. Whatever comes to you, find contentment in it. Like if we, as per our philosophy, if we have to talk about fate, what do we say? A very casual word which comes to us is, अरे उसके प्रारब्ध में जो है वो तो मिलेगा ही मिलेगा उसको. What one has is in his prarabdha karma, that he has to get, and he's getting it. So here, like when we talk of what we can change and what we cannot change. Say for example, one cannot change a person's height. If he is tall, he cannot become short. And if he is short, he cannot become tall. If somebody is dark skinned, he cannot become fair. And if somebody is fair, he cannot become dark. Maybe he can get tanned for some time, that's a different thing, but he cannot become dark. So there are certain things, like just like a person who is tall cannot become short. But what can happen is, one has the option to become fat or thin. A fat person can become thin. A thin person also can become fat by purushartha. So we are also now understanding what is the difference between purushartha and prarabdha. So accepting whatever comes as per our fate is, again they talk of this acceptance. Now, the fourth principle here Lord Krishna talks is about that mindfulness and acceptance based theories. The name is, they call it as acceptance and commitment therapy, ACT, and also mindfulness based stress reduction, MBSR is another therapy they call about. They all talk about that co-regulation and psychological well-being. How? By practicing acceptance and mindfulness. So here when you practice this, what happens? You become more aware of all the thoughts which are coming in your mind. Thoughts give you the feelings, and the feelings, you need to respond to those feelings. So it enables to respond to life's challenges with a greater equanimity. This is the theory of mindfulness and acceptance. Okay, fourth one. Now comes the fifth theory, cognitive behavioral therapy, which is CBT. Now CBT here teaches what to challenge and reframe irrational or negative thought patterns. See, there is a small change in each and every theory, if you can see. Now here they are saying watch the negative thought patterns, and as soon as you get a negative thought pattern, reframe it into a rational thought pattern. So this cognitive, you have the cognitive sense of the thoughts which are emerging in your mind. So for this, mindfulness is important. That watchfulness of your mind and the thoughts is important. Then what happens is, the moment something is coming, you can grab hold of it. If it is a positive thought, allow it to go. If it is a negative thought, with this cognitive theory, you change or channelize the negative thought into positive thought. So this way, this acceptance helps individuals reduce the emotional distress caused by futile attempts to control or change the uncontrollable. Now, after listening to these 5 theories, we still have 2 more. Don't you get a level of confidence in you? Now I'm equipped with great teachings how to deal distress, agony, or problems in my life, isn't it? So one has to understand this properly. Now the 6th one, it is known as SDT, self-determination theory. According to SDT, people have basic psychological needs for autonomy, competence, and relatedness. Okay. Accepting the inevitable can contribute to the fulfillment of these needs. When individuals recognize that some things are beyond their control, they can redirect their efforts towards goals, then align with their values and promote their sense of competence and autonomy. So this is again a slight twist is here, where one is moving with more of acceptance and positive psychology over here. And the last one is psychological resilience. Now this psychological resilience is the ability to adapt and bounce back from adversity. So the acceptance is a crucial component. Now if you see in all these, without acceptance you are not able to move ahead. Of all the psychological resilience, because it allows individuals to acknowledge challenges and setbacks without getting underwhelmed by them. So this resilient individuals are more likely to accept the inevitable aspects of life and find ways to thrive despite their presence. I would like to mention a story of one lady known as Winifred Gallifer. Now, this lady, she was suffering from cancer. She was an author as a passion, and she was also working for a firm. Now, stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, suffering so much from pain, all the chemotherapies, medicines, the burning sensation inside her body, and to add to it, she was a divorcee and she was low on finances, not able to pay her medical bills, not able to take care of her living. Now, in the midst of all these problems, she applied this theory of this psychological resilience. And she said, these problems are going to be there. My health will continue on these lines. My financial problems, where I don't have money, that will also continue. Now let me not suffer more. Let me use all my energy in doing something what I could. And then she wrote a book known as the RAPT, R-A-P-T. So where that book became very popular, one of the major hits during those days. And gradually what happened, she just forgot her problems. She said, I'm not going to think of them. The doctor is there who is going to give me medicines. Yes, people who have to receive money from me will keep chasing me. But let me not think of that because I'm not able to do anything. I will only focus my energies on doing something positive. And she gets into work. During her free time, she writes this book. And they say that over a period of time with that positive emotions in her, she was cured of cancer and she was able to get a promotion in her work and her life became normal. So this is not some story, imaginary story. So this is a story of a real life. Winifred Galliper, who wrote the book, The Rapt. Now, so in short, what we can understand over here is we are all drowned in anxieties, in fears, in troubles. Now, all this happens. A trouble is a trouble if you don't accept. Anxiety is anxiety if you don't accept. Fear is going to be more fearful if you don't accept. But when you go by the theory of whatever comes to me, that is the first prayer what we are saying, Oh Lord, any situation, any circumstance, any incident, any occasion you send across to me, I accept it with prasada buddhi. That is exactly what we are doing from now several years. I think more than 2 years we are saying this prayer. Is only to imbibe this quality in us. That acceptance of the inevitable in life, if it is rooted in various psychological theories and principles, if you talk logical, but if you talk spiritual, Lord Krishna is saying, what else do you need from that? So this is an important aspect of emotional well-being, resilience, and your mental health. Now understand, acceptance does not mean resignation or being passive, but rather it is acknowledging reality, focusing on what can be changed or influenced, and finding the strength to cope up with and adapt to the challenges of what life presents to you. In fact, one of the very famous prayers in the Western world is known as the Serenity Prayer. It's very simply said. Now, what all we discussed, they say, Oh God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Meaning, accept the things, okay? And courage to change the things I can. This I cannot change, I accept. B, I can change, give me the courage to change. And the third angle to it, he says, and wisdom to know the difference. This is the most important point. We do not know the difference. What we cannot change, we try to change. And what we can change, we don't change. This is the problem where we don't have that clarity. In this way, now Lord Krishna, he takes us forward. Have this mind of equanimity, surrender, acceptance. Now we'll read the 20th shloka and we'll go into details. And post the shloka for you. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Na prahrushyet priyam prapya No dvijet prapya chapriyam Sthira buddhira sammudo Brahmavid Brahmani stitaha. Now, in short, if I have to give you the meaning, the direct translation, if you have to understand. Now, what does this say? It primarily first talks about the joy and sorrows. They are a part of our lives. So it says, Priyam and Apriyam. You must have seen these words which came over here. Priyam and Apriyam. So don't get overwhelmed. Don't get too happy when things what you like come to you in life. And don't get depressed when things which you do not like come in your life. And a knower of Brahman, meaning a knower of God or that Supreme, who is established in Brahman, Sthitaha, Sthira Buddhi, should have that intellectual knowledge, that steady mind, and should not be deluded. Deluded means he should not get confused, where he should not get delighted by getting what is desirable, nor become dejected by getting what is undesirable. Now we'll go into details on this. Okay. A person in deep sorrow also has moments of joy, and a person in deep joy will also have moments of sorrow. Now this is a writing on the wall. One has to accept this. Life cannot be only joy, only joy, only joy. It is a roller coaster ride of joy and sorrow. Health, career, relationships, and finances. These are the four broad aspects in one's life. You see, three may be good, but somewhere one may not be good. Sometimes your career is good, relationship is good, finances are going good, but your health is not good. Health is good, career is good, finances are good, but your relationship is not good. So this way, or two are good, two are bad. Somewhere you will see a combination in all these four factors. There is going to be a roller coaster ride. Now this primarily we have to accept and understand in our lives. Never in history or in the future you will be able to see or come across a person who has only happiness or joy in life, or vice versa. It is never the case. So life is a stream of continuous flow of joy and sorrows. Now this is for whom? This is for the ones who do not have this knowledge. Because it is going to be contradictory otherwise. Now once you know, developed the power of acceptance, these things are not going to disturb you. So I'm talking from the point of view of the worldly people. So normally what happens is, before having this knowledge, we are just getting this knowledge. So we get elated. We start jumping up. No sooner there is some joy, you'll suddenly see some people, they laugh so much and they jump so much, they talk so much. Now, such are the people who will immediately get depressed when something goes against. You can see that. So what one has to do is Samadarshinaha, meaning here when joy comes to you, when sorrow comes to you, don't get overwhelmed or underwhelmed. Now this was when I was studying. I said, how can you not get happy when there is a happy moment? And how one does not get sad when there is a sad moment? And I was trying to find an answer to it, and somehow I got one trick. I did not read anywhere or get to know from somebody. It just came as a thought in a meditation. Whenever there is a moment of joy, somebody comes and gives you good news, okay? You have been struggling to get something and you say, oh, aapka ye proposal clear ho gaya. Samjho. So you got, it definitely gives you joy. At that time, don't accept that joy. Good. Thank you. That's all. Don't allow that joy, meaning that thought, to express and become an emotion in you. An emotion of joy. Okay? Don't allow that. Then what happens, when sorrow, when something untoward comes to you, which you did not expect to happen, if it comes to you, then it will not disturb you to that extent. This is one very good technique. You all should practice this. First, learn to reject joy. And then automatically you will be able to take control of any sorrow which is coming. I am talking of this much earlier to understanding the Samadarshinaha. Samadarshinaha is at a later stage. If you have practiced this, where you don't accept joy, don't get too happy about it. Know that it is there. That's it. And when you start developing Samadarshinaha and the acceptance factor in you, then you are completely away from joy and sorrow. So one has to practice this, and trust me, with constant practice, you will master over a period of time and with much ease. Not that it is very difficult. Now, here, when good things, priyam prapya, happen to us, as we know, we experience joy, and apriyam prapya means we experience sorrow. So this is udvega, means where we talk of anxiety, happiness. These are all common things which come out over here. So here Lord Krishna says, keep yourself in that Samadarshinaha, means equilibrium. This is what precisely he tries to tell us. Otherwise, it will put you into a mental turmoil. You will not be able to do anything in life. It will be constantly bothering you. So be very careful of how you have to manage this Samadarshinaha. Now, just to understand what is this Samadarshinaha, is like, say you have a pair of glasses, okay? Now, those glasses, they allow you to see the world as it is. There is no prejudice, there is no bias. It does not, show you suddenly, it doesn't show you something very bright or something very dark. Like a mirror, it just reflects what is there in front of it. Or you can take, like Samadarshinaha Samadarshinaha is also like a flame that burns away our impurities as you practice, and it eventually leaves you with complete love and compassion, where you are ready to do something for others. Otherwise, what? Our life is all about what I can get from others. But once you start developing this, you will not find any difficulty in dedicating yourself for others' welfare. So Samadarshinaha is a state of mind which is normally cultivated by practice. It doesn't happen overnight, but it is something which worth striving for, as it leads to greater joy, peace, and fulfillment. So in this way, now moving on, this sukha and dukkha, they are like, Sukhasyanantaram dukkham, dukkhasyanantaram sukham, chakravat parivartante sukhani dukkhani cha. So both sukha and dukkha are like the points in a wheel. So what goes up has to eventually come down. So this is inevitable in life. Take this for granted. If I am happy now, in some time you are going to be sad. If you are sad now, in some time you are going to be happy. So in this way, never get into, at the immediate arrival of sukha, if you have restricted yourself, then no agony can come to you. Because what is mentally getting mentally strained? You know what happens when this inevitable situation comes to you, which you are not able to take in life? Then it creates, mentally you'll get strained, you get tensed, you get that doubt, what we call. So all these are extremely negative emotions in life. So like what happens with emotional distress? One can get anxiety, irritability, frustration, sadness. Now, know all this. When somebody is behaving on these lines, you know that he is in this state where he is unhappy about something and he is under emotional distress. It also understands you to improve your relationship. You will not get angry with him. I understand. He's going through some stress. Emotional distress. Physical symptoms. How does this affect you? It gives you tension. This tension gives you headaches. It gives you muscle cramps, fatigue, and difficulty in sleeping. Then you get cognitive impairments. So this mental strain can impair cognitive functions like, say, concentration, memory, decision making. See how much. So anything you want to focus and take a decision, you will not be able to do it adequately. And so this overwhelm, when you get overwhelmed, when you're mentally strained, then it creates stress. And then reduced resilience. This is another quality which comes out of this mental strain. What we talk about is it decreases the individual's resilience. Meaning when you are facing a problem, if you are mentally strong, you will bounce back from those, after accepting those challenges and negative the setbacks. But here there will be a delay because you don't have the strength, and then there will be social and interpersonal difficulties because you are not able to engage in healthy social interactions. See, we have seen some people, "Arey, kya ho gaya isko? Aise kyun baat kar raha hai?" Don't we say this very commonly? It is because of this. Why is he behaving like this? I have never seen him talk like this. So understand. Yes, I know the answer. Because of this anxiety, depression, he's undergoing this social and interpersonal difficulty. So overall mental strain, it reflects a state of heightened mental tension and a stress in one person. So if you're able to address with what? One simple principle: acceptance. And how are we accepting it? With that faith in Lord, that yes, He is taking me to a higher cause. Yes, prarabdha, it has come to me. It's okay. As far as I've got the Lord with me, why should I worry? He is going to sail me through. Have that in mind. Accept. And you will not be going through any of all these problems what we just now spoke. It will help you in coping strategies, relaxing techniques, seeking support, all this, because you are in a position to, with an open mind. So now what happens, mental strain is like that. You have a guitar, let's say, or a veena. Now if the string is tightened, excessive tension on the string, it can lead to a jarring sound, some sound which is not pleasing, and also it can break. So mental strain can disrupt the harmony in one's life, making it challenging to function smoothly. So just release the tension, loosen the string. Then as the music comes back to normal, that jarring sound goes away. In the same way, our life also, our life, our well-being, all comes back to the right levels. So, immediate reckoning, what we have to do is, we have to accept what we can change, what we cannot change, and we should work towards what we can change. So this way, Lord Krishna, he very clearly makes it a point that you move on in life with this samadrashti bhava, and without giving up to nonsense, negative aspects in life, that will take you to higher planes of life. So in this way, now another aspect comes here is, sometimes a person, if something wrong happened to you, and you don't have to get worried, it could be that whatever happened to you is for your benefit later. Like we all know the story of Abdul Kalam, where his dream was to become a pilot, and he had passed all the tests for becoming a pilot, and in the last test, because of his poor eyesight, he was rejected. And then there he was in Rishikesh, where he was dejected and probably wanted to commit suicide or something. That's when Swami Shivananda met him and said, "Oh young man, why are you so dejected? Maybe God has got a higher purpose for you in life." So sometimes what does not happen to you need not necessarily be that you are deprived of something. If you have that trust and faith, that same you can go to a much higher level. See, in my own case, I'll tell you, not one incident, several incidents. If I look back and see, if that had not happened in the negative, I would not have reached so far. So when something went adverse to me, it gave rise to me in whatever field it is. It could be in the field of business, or it could be in the field of a relationship. All this, it took me to a greater height. So now it has become that so much of positivity in life, so much of acceptance factor in life, that everything becomes a very casual affair. You don't have to worry even a little bit, because I know this has come for my good. I may not understand it right now or today, but I know that I'll get answers in the next hour, or in the next day, or in the next week. But at that point, accept and keep the remembrance of God in your mind, not the remembrance of the problem. This is very important. What happens is we immediately cling to the problem. Get away from the problem. Intensify your prayers at that point, and you will see how answers start coming to you. So, this is one fact where when something you think is good for me, you are enjoying that. Array, this is so nice. It's all nice things are happening, but it may be bad for you also. So like for example, say in your school days, if you get into a company where they're bunking school and they're smoking and going for movies and then having beer and things like that, so it is enjoyable. Oh, you feel this is so good for me, but that can cause harm to you. So these are certain things, all which you do not like. You may think that I do not like this, but that can do good to you. It has come my way. I don't like this. Accept it. It will do a good lot to you. So this attitude one has to cultivate in life. So in this way, na prakrushayet priyam prapya, na dvijet prapya cha apriyam. Now the second line comes as sthirabuddhira sammudaha brahmavit brahmani sthitaha. Sthirabuddhi sammudaha he talks of these two qualities. Sthira buddhi means, he says, have the stable mind. Don't keep altering. Once you have got to this knowledge, have that stable mind, that faith, that coherence, and asammudaha, without any doubt. Be established in that Lord. Brahmavit brahmani sthitaha. Brahmavit means what? In that knowledge of that Lord. Yes, He is there. He is the controller. He is the giver. And He is the one who is driving everything. So know that. Be in that knowledge without any doubt. And you will keep moving forward. See, many a times, the child, it wants something. It wants a chocolate, let's say. The mother does not give because it knows it is bad for the child. So many times, the Lord also says, "Hare, how many times this devotee is asking me again and again? I am not giving because I know it is bad for him." So when something does not happen to you in your life, think that just like the mother is refusing to give to the child that chocolate which that child is hell-bent and crying and howling, but still the mother is not giving. In the same way, if you are not getting anything, think that the Lord is not giving me because He knows best. In my interest, the Lord is curtailing this. There, don't get into adverse comments. Other person he got, I didn't get. What is this? What is this Lord doing here? So not to get in these kind of situations. That is the lack of understanding. Asammudaha. One has to get out of this. If God is giving me pain, okay. He knows why He is giving me. I see others getting joy, happiness. He knows best. Okay, I accept that. You should not allow the happiness of others to affect you much more because you are also suffering, already suffering. That asammudaha, those kind of negative thoughts, misunderstandings should not be there in one's life. So these are the subtle points which we need to understand and go by the flow with that feeling of acceptance and be in that knowledge of the Lord all along. Don't allow anything else to overpower you, because it is what happens is that Brahmasthita, meaning that mind on God, what he is talking about is you are transacting in the world, but your mind should be on that supreme truth. Now I'll give an example. Let's say you go to a shop, a traditional kirana shop. You say, Bhaiya, mujhe 1 kilo chawal do. So you ask for 1 kg of rice. Now what does the shopkeeper do? He has a balance in front of him. He puts a 1 kilo stone on one pan, and then with his other hand he starts putting rice on the other pan. Now what happens? As he puts rice on the pan, now the rice pan slowly comes down, and the one which is pan with the stone, it starts rising. We as a person, we are looking at the pan where he's putting in that rice. We are looking at the padartha, means the material. But what is the shopkeeper doing? He's looking at the yathartha, means the reality. He's looking at the needle on the top. He knows where is the pan, where is the rice. He keeps taking that rice and he keeps putting it here. So eventually one goes down, then if at all it goes down, he removes and he puts it back. But his eyes are set on the yathartha, which is the needle at the top. We are focusing on the padartha, on the world. He is focusing on the reality. And when he sees that it is aligned, exactly it's aligned, he says, please take it. Bring your bag forward, and he puts it in your bag. So our constant, we are transacting. Don't look at the material world. Have that thought of the Lord in your mind. Look at that needle, and your constant, the rest of the actions will happen. Whatever you need to do in the world, you don't need to, we're not doing some great rocket science over here. Usual things we are attending to in life, which we are used to, just keep attending to that. Like he has to take wheat from one dabba, rice from another dabba, or jaggery from another dabba. Your hands automatically go there. We also are used to all this. To do whatever normal things we are doing in life, keep doing that. But our mind should be on the yathartha, which is the Lord and Lord alone, the reality. Thank you. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. So now we take the two divine names from Shloka 42 of the Vishnu Sahasranama. First we'll read the Shlok. Vyavasayo vyavasthanah samsthanasthanado dhruvah parardip paramaspashtah tushtapushta subhekshanah. We are at 392 Pushtah. One who is ever full, the Supreme Consciousness being all pervading, is infinitely full. Nothing can we take out of it, nor can we add to it. It is ever full, and therefore, even when the manifestations emerge out from it, it is no less. It is not less for it. Purnasya purnamadaya purnamevavashishyate. This is the meaning. Nothing can we take out of it, nor can we add to it. It is ever full, and therefore even the manifestations emerge out from it, it is not less for it. 393. Shubhekshanaha. All auspicious gaze. One whose very gaze brings streams of auspiciousness to the devotee. This self-being beyond vasanas means tendencies. One who realizes the self goes beyond all sins. A devotee walking the very path and moving towards the spiritual contents purifies him from all sins. Since he will be living a life not identifying with the body, mind, and intellect. Subhekshanaha. To such a Supreme Lord, we offer our humble salutations. Seek His grace, mercy, and blessings. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Now we chant Sri Dhanvantari mantra 3 times. Without a healthy body, we cannot achieve anything in this life. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutakalashastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidhaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri 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 Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutakalashastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya Trailokyapataye Trailokyanidhaye Shri Mahavishnu Swarupa Shri Dhanvantari Swarupa Shri 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 Aushadha Chakra Narayanaya Swaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Mahasudarshanaaya Vasudevaya Dhanvantaraye Amrutakalashastaya Sarvabhaya Vinashaya Sarvaroga Nivaranaya त्रैलोक्यपतये त्रैलोक्यनिधये श्री महाविष्णु स्वरूप श्री धन्वंतरी स्वरूप श्री 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 औषध चक्र नारायणाय स्वाहा. Our humble salutations to Lord Dhanvantari. Now let's meditate on Sakshi Bhava. Completely bringing our mind to a state of nothingness is like you're recalibrating your entire brain power, mind power, aligning yourself with the universe. When you go to a state of no thoughts, then there is no person, there is no object, there is no place. That is what exactly are the characteristics of divinity. Please sit straight and erect in a comfortable position without keeping your body stiff, erect but relaxed. Head, neck and spine in a straight line. Relax your forehead, your entire face and neck, your shoulders, your upper body, and your lower body. Slightly raise your chin. Gently close your eyes. Your eyelids should be like two petals resting on each other. Now let's take a few deep breaths. Inhale and exhale as deep as you can. Now observe the mind. After having observed your breath, observe the mind. Observe the thoughts that cross your mind. Without being judgmental, without paying any heed to those thoughts. Observe the thoughts slowly moving away. With this approach, you will see that the number of thoughts gradually reduce. You will slowly experience a state of no thoughts. Be in that serene state of divinity. Experience that state of stillness, calmness, serenity, and bliss. Now slowly bring your attention to your breath. Become aware of yourself. Become aware of your surroundings. Oh. पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरि ओम तत्सत्। श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। Rub your palm, place them on your eyes, gently and lovingly open your eyes. Together, we offer today's Gita Gnana Yajna at the lotus feet of the Lord to seek His grace, mercy, and blessings. Naham karta, Hari karta, Hari preranaya, Hari prityartha. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.